I had been thinking the same thing all along, remembering the horrible moment we spilled Vanessa's groceries. Yes, I agreed. I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to believe it, but Vanessa did this to us. Vanessa is block, turning us into chickens. Chicken, he clucked. I heard clattering sounds downstairs in the kitchen. Mom and Dad. I have to block! Tell them, I cried. We have to tell them everything. Cole and I bolted for the bedroom door at the same time. We squeezed through together. Then we ran side by side down the hall. I could hear Mom's voice from the kitchen. Cole and I started calling to her as we hurried down the stairs. Mom, we need block! Help! I cried. It's Vanessa. She really does have block clock powers. She's turning us into chickens. Cole called to Mom as we reached the downstairs hall and went running into the kitchen. We're growing feathers and everything. It's the truth, I cried. I don't have pubes. I have feathers. That's good news. Mom replied calmly. I need 2 more chickens for the barbecue this afternoon. And your pubes, they're gonna do just fine.
You can't scare me. Not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy calling all creep.
Boo Dudes! Welcome to episode 53, I think, of Calling All Creeps. I'm your host, quarterback Jerry Rice from the San Francisco 49ers. And I'm here with Barry Sanders. Barry, today's your big day. It's the Super Bowl. Dave,
you can't say that.
You're Barry.
You can't. Oh, me?
Yeah.
I thought our guest was.
No, the guest doesn't come until later. You know
also,
that.
Also, we're going to get sued. So you have to edit that out before, because I, for one, am excited about the big game.
Oh, you can't say Super Bowl?
Dude, stop! No, you don't know about this? If you are not an official affiliate of the big game, you are not allowed to say anything in the proper name of the big game. So anytime you see like a beer commercial or like Doritos, like, what flavor are you going to have during the big game? Like, just watch commercials.
No,
I 100%.
No, yeah, I believe you. It's NFL, famously litigious, famously bad, right? Everybody just getting CTE and whatnot.
That's true. Yeah,
the worst sport.
Yeah, you kneel once and they fucking bury you.
Right. Then there's that.
Yeah.
Dave, it's snowing again. I can't believe it. Here we are in New Jersey, trying to dig ourselves out.
I'm just going to lay down with my mouth open and just be taken by the snow at this point.
Sounds good. I mean, that's fine. What else are we going to do? Who cares?
You know what I care about?
What's that?
Returning guest.
You
all asked for it. Demands.
Yes. Many people have asked for the boy. And when I don't have to question it any further, because I know exactly who they mean, exactly what they are referring to, and it's Brian.
Let's hear it for the boy. Hello, I've returned.
You've returned. It's been 2 years?
Sure.
Wild. Absolutely bananas. Thanks for taking time to join us, Brian.
Oh, all I have is time, Matt and Dave.
Yeah, Goth-Jock himself.
That's right.
me, and I'm missing all of the pregame for the big game.
The pre-big game.
They do start at 11:30, even though the game is at 6:30. They do start.
It's the best
an
part.
All-day affair.
You get to learn all about my homes and Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Who could forget?
Does John Madden, like, is he still doing anything?
No, I think he's playing with all of his great-grandchildren, probably somewhere in Arizona.
Okay, because that dude
would be my guess.
We know he's got a lot of progeny, but I just miss his stupid shit he would say, and like especially like playing the video games.
Sure.
like older video games, they'd like take so much time to get these like big names to record these little slogans, but if you play the game more than, let's say, twice, you hear the same slogan like
over and over and over.
So when I see any football game, let alone the big game or a smaller one in size, I still hear Mr. John Madden's voice in my head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was a huge Madden guy. And it's 5 phrases over and over and over.
Yeah.
That is
some of the best pop punk music ever.
What is?
They would have on those soundtracks, they would have great songs by Cartel and the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
There's certain bands that I'm pretty sure existed only for certain types of video games.
Thank God.
Like Alter Bridge, Breaking Benjamin. Those bands only exist to be the menus of wrestling games.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I never did wrestling games.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave and I like to create wrestlers with like little dicks and dumb faces, and
Sure.
so it loops the same 2 songs or something, because we'll do this for like over an hour, and we'll hear like
well over an hour.
The same 90 seconds of Dave, like you said, like a Breaking Benjamin, like into Chevelle or
Altered Beast.
Yeah. Altered Beast.
Is
that the name of the band?
It sounds like an Animorphs title, but yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, it's been a long time. You are canonically part of Calling All Creeps culture, but
it might be number 1 canon and non-Killinky.
I think
you're the Nick Cannon.
There we go.
Yeah. If you refer to the Calling All Creeps wiki, you are number 1. But if you could just refresh us and listeners who maybe came to the pod. We got 1 or 2 listeners in those 2 years.
Okay.
That might be new to the pod. Just a couple. And if you could just tell us your relationship to Goosebumps and if you've dug it and if you're digging it now.
Well, I definitely dug it. I definitely have a history of digging it.
Hell yeah.
I have all the originals. I have all the original 62 books. I've read them all. They're all fair to abysmal, and I love them. I love them like they're my children.
Yeah.
And I've met R.L. Stine once. He was very, very sick. This was many years ago. He's probably fine now.
Right.
Probably.
He was tweeting today, so I think he's okay.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Was it about something you could purchase?
It was no. So I saw 2 tweets. One was a list of Goosebump books that were inspired by old
I saw that too.
Horror sci-fi movies, which were like I opened it somewhat excitedly, and then
it's clickbait. He reposted clickbait.
It was
I
totally
knew better.
Predictable. And then the other one was he rehashed some fan mail he got, which was cute and funny. It was just like R.L. Stine, I think your books are great. I do hope you'll keep writing books. And it was like now.
I do hope that too.
Yeah.
I want R.L. Stine to post like clickbait, and it's just been like, it's been 20 years. Which children characters of Goosebumps probably died of overdoses?
Lord.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, here's my question with that list of horror movie inspired books. Was today's book on there? Because it's exactly like a horror movie that exists.
I did not see it on there.
Okay.
It was obvious,
so we'll get to that later then.
Yeah. It was all like Shock Street. There was like a big praying mantis movie. The Blob. Like stupid shit.
Like old horrible movies that aren't really good.
But it's like, it doesn't make any sense too. Because like, what is it? Why I'm Afraid of Bees or some shit. It was like The Fly.
The Fly, yeah.
And I'm like, that's not like that at all.
No, that's such a reach. Certainly. I mean, I don't think we mention The Fly at all in our episode, and I don't mean that to knock us. Not that we're, hard hitting literary analysis, but like it just wouldn't even come into your periphery.
I love the Jeff Goldblum remake.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's one of the best, but it has nothing to fucking do with that book. It's kind of like if there was a cover of a Goosebumps book with a big robot, they'd be like, this book's inspired by Michael Bay's The Transformers 2. Like, it was like that.
Yeah.
If the cover of an old horror movie, if like the poster matched the book cover, it was on there. It was a stupid, and in between it was just like, your dick don't work, buy these pills. Like there was 100 ads. It was just
I should have opened it. God damn it.
I'll forward you the link. Brian, I'm curious, it's probably been a while since you read a lot of these books, but in your heart, what's your fave or a couple of your standouts?
By far, my favorite is The Girl Who Cried Monster. That's an early.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I remember you had someone on for that, and they had the hardcover library bound version of it.
Yeah. Shout out Jackie.
And after I told my girlfriend about that, she bought it for me. So
nice.
Love that.
My life is good, and everyone should be jealous.
Also, I just want to shout out to that library for unknowingly donating that hardcover to my Goosebumps collection.
Well, there we go.
Jackie did a little swap with you, no?
Yeah. Who now, congratulations to Yaki, another member. She is now, living her dream. She always wanted to be a librarian, went back to school, got the job, and is now working at the Boston Public Library.
Amazing.
Well, there you go.
That rocks so hard. What a sweet, amazing person. Shout out Jackie. So
shout out former guest, former alum, part of my crew.
That's right.
Part of your crew. I can't wait we have to put you guys into the Calling All Creeps Hall of Fame.
Oh my God.
I can't wait for 10 years down the line when we all get back together at some
the
sort
reunion
of reunion.
Yeah. Cool. So speaking of Why I'm Afraid of Bees and a book that's just like, I turned into this thing. Let's talk about Chicken Chicken.
Chicken.
So Chicken Chicken is book 53. It came out in March of 1997. The top song. So lovely to have Brian here because he always shits on us for not knowing.
This is always my favorite part. I bated breath. I can't wait. I have goosebumps.
Oh my God.
It's still Wannabe by the Spice Girls for the beginning of the month.
Excellent.
And then it's Can't Nobody Hold Me Down.
Oh, wow. Is that P. Diddy?
Yes.
Or Mace? Or
it was, holy shit. I was going to ask if you knew who it was and then see if you knew who it was featuring. But yes, it was the daddy of Puffs, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, featuring Mace.
Yeah, I remember that video vividly.
Which video is? I only remember the one of them like walking down the light tube.
I think it was them like in sort of like pseudo Vegas kind of like streets and just like spinning around in shiny suits. Something like that maybe?
That sounds on
unless it's a different video.
Yeah, that sounds like the majority of I don't know, the MTV Jams videos I was seeing at the time.
The late 90s had a real look.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
For sure. It's great.
This month was wild. Like this month embodies the 90s that I remember as being like fucking weird. Like you can put 2020 into a time capsule and be like, yeah, then it said that you're, fucking everything bad happened. I don't know, 2020 was like that little fish that goes down your pee hole of years. Like there was always a new thing that the world brought that you needed to like tense up about. But
like that you're talking about that like parasitic Amazonian fish that like if you piss in the water it eats your balls from the inside.
That's in that movie Medicine Man, right? With Sean Connery.
Oh my God, I don't know.
I think there's a scene where he talks about a fish swimming up your urethra.
Is that how he died?
Yep.
Actually, yeah. The thing is it happened during that movie, and that's why he said it. And he's just been ripping a strong, thick braid this whole time to try to keep it at bay. It's been a battle for decades, but
that's strong, thick braid.
Yep.
Brian, how old is that movie?
I'm gonna say it came out in ¡86.
Holy
I'm probably wrong.
He's had a fish in his dick for 40 years.
Well, now he's finally at peace.
That's true. He's finally at peace. All right, what else was going on?
Oh my God!
War in Iraq.
Top movies. So Empire Strikes Back digital edition was the beginning of the month and the end of the last month, and then also Return of the Jedi. Did I talk about? I don't know if I talked about this last episode. Did I talk
Medicine
about
Man 92?
92.
Still 30 years.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm way off.
That was close.
Did I talk about why the kind of like conspiracy theory of why those deluxe edition Star Wars movies exist? Last episode?
Well, no. I mean, Lucas.
I remember you talking about the movies, but I don't remember any.
So we talked about, because I remember we talked about like I went and saw them with my dad, but this is like a super weird thing. If you notice those movies that came out, the special editions where they added like shitty CGI and like a Jawa will like, I don't know, like step in shit and fall and like, but so those are the only movies now. You can't watch the original on TV. They're not on Disney Plus. And it's a deal with the contract because so George Lucas had a giant stained glass Star Wars window designed for him and installed in the Lucas Ranch. That man who designed and installed that later ended up marrying George Lucas's wife. So George Lucas's current wife, who was a film editor and edited the original Star Wars films, left him for the guy that made the stained glass window.
He made an impression. He's a craftsman.
He is a craftsman. And also,
oh Lord,
George Lucas is crazy, but like most, creative people. But what he did is by re-editing and adding all these CG things over different like practical effects, he was able to rewrite the credits and thusly take his ex-wife out of all of the credits on the movies, so that now when anybody watches Star Wars or it plays, she does not get royalties from it.
Holy shit. Is that true?
Yes.
Wow.
That's an extreme level of pettiness.
Yes.
He's a vindictive man.
Yeah.
He sure is. And yeah, so that's one of the things where it's believed. I mean, of course, it's never confirmed. He's never just like, fuck that bitch. But like, they only play that one and she does not get the credits because she was no longer the main editor on that film.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? He doesn't have to admit it because you could compare the two films, right?
Yeah.
Like, her name's no longer in there. So it's like, all right, well, we're done then.
Yeah, but also I just want to say that as good as Return of the Jedi and my favorite Empire are, they couldn't stand up to the silver screen juggernaut that is Liar Liar.
Oh no.
Look.
Oh, I hated that so much my earbud fell out.
The scene where he kicks his own ass in the bathroom. I mean, beautiful.
I'm kicking
we all love
my ass.
God, I don't even remember that movie. I remember the Family Guy part where Peter does the I was speeding. That's stupid.
Okay.
That's literally the only thing I remember about Liar Liar.
Right. That's bleak. When Family Guy overrides your original memory of something, it's
yeah, because I'm not a Quahog, kid.
Your name is Brian, though.
It's very true.
Oh Lord.
Oh my God. Okay, Dave. What else?
And also, Private Parts came out.
Wait, what'd you say?
What happened?
Private Parts came out that month too.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it got a week of being the top movie before Liar Liar.
Is that's Howard Stern's thing?
Yeah, the original Joe Rogan himself.
I thought Private Parts was earlier for some reason.
So did I.
Weird.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because I remember seeing it in the theater with the same kid that I saw the remake or the retouched New Hope in the theater. So it makes sense we were going to the movies at the same time.
Right, right.
And do you remember what the top movie was last time I was on this show?
No.
Not at all. No.
Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Oh my God.
So I'm just in a Jim Carrey loop.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Well, I know you do spend a lot of your hard-earned money on his paintings, don't you?
Yeah, I have his one of Aretha Franklin where she's white. And
is that real?
Pretty much. I mean, it's her. I think it's Aretha Franklin, and she's like singing. And he posted it, and people on Twitter were just like, "Who's that white lady?"
Yeah, it's like they're pretty ghastly. For like a full year, every single one was of Trump with like a swastika on his forehead and like squished facial features and stuff. Just a real strange thing.
I just imagine like a gallery where it's just like you see all these Trump and swastikas and like fucked up stuff, and at the bottom it's like about the artist, and it's like it just says I was the Grinch.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. There's so many directions to go with that. It's like the star of Me, Myself, and Irene painted this in a fury.
That's a rough one. That one I remember a lot of.
Well, that one ties into our book because there is a scene where he applies body lotion to his lips.
So let's gotta
love that body lotion.
Oh baby.
Let's get through this year. This is what I was saying. This is like a crazy 90s year, or month at least. So on March 4th, U.S. President Bill Clinton bans federally funded human cloning research.
Nice.
On March 11th, Beatle Paul McCartney was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II.
Wow.
Nice.
So we got cloning, we got knights, and then on March 13th, this is crazy, the Phoenix Lights, which I don't know if you guys know, it's a very famous UFO sighting where like a triangle of lights appeared over Phoenix. And this was like a huge deal. It was in the newspapers. It was like not like something that was there for a flash. It was seen by many people. It was photographed. My favorite fact about this is that 20 years later, because it was something that dealt with the military and they kept a lot short, in a BBC interview for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it was revealed that the pilot that called it in first was none other than Kurt Russell.
Wow.
Kurt Russell, pilot, was bringing his son to Phoenix for a date with his girlfriend and saw that, and it was not on the charts or whatever, that planes would be coming through. So he called it in, and they said nothing was there. And it was cool. You could watch the interview, and they said, like, they did, like, I don't know, what is this? Like, what is that? Different, like, trivia about aliens. And one of the questions was, like, what was the prop plane's call number that saw the aliens? And he was like, oh, it was this. And they asked him why, and he's like, this is fucking me, dude. I'm the one who saw the aliens.
That does sound like Kurt.
I love him.
He's so chill.
He sure is. Big Trouble in Little China. Gotta be kidding.
Battered Bastards of Baseball.
Oh, yeah. The Santa movie from Netflix.
Santa movie from
Chris
Netflix,
Santa.
baby.
Chris Santa.
Overboard.
Escape from New York, but you can't escape from my heart.
I have two March 97 things that you didn't mention. Do you have more?
That's it. I just went in quick. I looked these up this morning. So
because I read this, since I had eye surgery recently, and I read this book 2 weeks ago. So because I knew I wouldn't be able to read it afterwards. So I had plenty of time to look up while I was quarantining before surgery. And the two biggest things I found: March 97, March 10th, Buffy premiered.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Which is major.
That is huge.
As we all know, as many campfire nights, me and Matt would talk about our who we have crushes on, and female, male, doesn't really matter.
No. Buffy love. We have a shared Buffy love.
There's a lot of Buffy love in our world. And then on the 26th, they found the Heaven's Gate cult.
Oh my god!
Wow!
The Hale-Bopp comet. All those Nike shoes in the bunk beds. Remember that?
Is one of the cult things that people are watching right now about that? There's like an HBO thing, right?
Yeah, the Heaven's Gate one.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I haven't checked that out, but I've heard that's worth it ultimately.
Yeah, I might.
Brian, you're so much better at this than I am.
Well, I'm very good at lots of things. I don't just talk about yourself. I'm very good at a lot of things that I do. Anything I try out, I'm pretty fantastic at.
That's why we have you on.
Can you confirm?
Yeah. The problem is I just don't try very hard at most things.
Right. Yeah, you're your own worst enemy, as Lit
Yeah,
would say.
I could be a painter, on the level of Jim Carrey, but I'm not trying.
Right.
I'd like the only other note that I didn't put in there was that like Vanilla Ice got married that month, but
Wow.
Not as important as Buffy or
I wonder if they're still together.
They have an anniversary coming up, if so.
That's nice.
That is nice. 24
Yeah,
years.
he seems like a family man.
Yeah, absolutely. Did holding maskless concerts and whatnot. Cool. Well, that's beautiful. I love it. You're both great. Should we talk about this stupid book?
Some facts about the book. Sorry. It's been a half hour and we haven't even gotten to the book, but basically all I want to say is that this is widely recognized as the worst Goosebumps book of all time by everybody.
Yes, it is.
It's unanimous.
Certainly by me.
R.L. Stine says that he stole the plot of this book from R.L. Stine's Thinner.
Oh, from
that's what I was talking
Thinner.
about. Yeah,
Stephen King's Thinner. What did I say? I don't know. And then
R.L. Stine's Thinner is chicken.
It sure
That's
is.
true.
Which just saying it.
Yeah, it absolutely
Thinner.
is. Brian, I saw that in your notes.
Yeah.
Brian preemptively sent me his notes, which was very funny, and I just selected certain parts and sent them to Dave because they're great. And part of that was that this is just Thinner. And as I was reading this, I was like, oh, it fucking, like, I couldn't escape that thought. I was like, this is absolutely just that movie, but obviously way worse.
I mean, it really is without like the mobster Fat Tony part of it of the movie. It's just the exact same movie.
Yeah, which is a movie that terrified me as a child.
But it's not scary now.
No, but I didn't even see it initially. Like I just saw, I think they were showing it on TV, honestly, and I saw like a commercial for it that they were gonna like show it on TNT or whatever the fuck, and just the premise of it, like the supernatural element of like you just wasting away, was horrifying.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes just knowing something's a scary movie is enough.
Yeah. Right.
Only other thing I have to say is that they fucked up the art on the original one. And I don't know, there was an issue with the art and he had to scan it in and send it, and it was a whole like rush job, and they accidentally mirrored it in the print.
Oh.
So if you look to the bottom left of her foot, you'll see Jacobus's signature is backwards.
Oh my God, that's wild.
And for the reprint that I got in 2007, they fixed it.
That's absolutely insane. Yeah, totally. It's very faint because it sort of matches the ground, but yeah. Totally. Very interesting.
And finger licking nightmare is, of course,
the flavor text.
The flavor text, which is taken from a famous
a kernel we all know.
Chicken.
A
great snack
to
enjoy
kernel
during the big game.
Yeah, when I go get some fast food fried chicken, I like to be reminded of the Confederacy and of the slave South via a figurehead of an exploitator. So, and I'd also like to say, just like last episode, I have one of these trading cards that came with actually the last book, and I just want to roll through it real quick. I haven't read any of this, and I'll just tell you, I'm going to skip the starring section because we'll talk about the characters. Who gives a shit? I'll say the setting is Goshen Falls, a small country town populated by farmers, chickens, and one evil sorceress, is what it says. The say what
debatable.
the say what section says, Bluck, I can't stop the clucking. And the real deal, here's a little quote from R.L. Stine in the real deal section. It says, this book started from something that happened in my family. My brother started thinking he was a chicken. We probably should have taken him to a doctor, but we needed the eggs.
So was this what? His brother was shitting, and they were like, "Well, if he thinks he's a chicken,
I guess
those are eggs."
Yeah. All right.
Just poop our eggs.
Oh boy. Well, I think really, if we want to skip the nuance, we could simply say, "Girl turns into chicken." End. right?
Slowly yes. turns into chicken.
That's the whole thing.
Several days.
Nobody notices though. That's the thing. Like
and her brother. Right. No one notices.
Yeah. And her mom's like, "Those are just your pubes," and like, "Your lips are chapped."
Yeah. It's fucking wild. This book just
it is.
I think he tried in the beginning. He gave up around page
right
12.
Right. I was going to say this is like the example, the foremost example of phoning it in. Is it not? Through all the other books that we've read.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to get the fuck out. Like it was a real spry 112 pages or whatever. Like he just wanted this to be done with.
In some way, he wrote it faster than I read it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sure
it took him like 90 minutes to write. Yeah. And I had to like take breaks from frustration.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Like I search, we always, for each book, we give it the benefit of the doubt. That's the conceit, is like, we know this is a children's book, so we're not going to like rip it apart based on our current standards, or nor do we think like this is literature. That's not why we're doing this. We want to have fun and recognize that this is a cool series that is a big part of our lives, but we try to look for the good, and sometimes it doesn't happen. And it didn't happen here, because every time I would be like, well, here's some good writing, or here's a thing I liked. It was so perfunctory. It was like these descriptions. Sometimes we'll identify a description of like the moonlight coming into a room, some like scene description that's really good. And here it's just like there's none of that, or it's good in one spot and it's repeated 100 times throughout the book, which totally undermines his point. It's like it's always the silvery moonlight. Every
silvery, I was gonna say,
has a silvery moonlight, and so it just there's nothing really redeeming other than a few funny things that we can. I mean, the whole book is kind of hilarious in a terrible way.
Yeah, I didn't like hate reading it.
I did,
but I was hate reading it.
Dave, I did.
Yeah, I was kind of amused at how much it was bothering me.
Yeah,
that it was so bad, that it was so unbearably bad.
Yeah,
and like not scary, not interesting, not fun.
No, nothing for somebody who prides themselves, R.L. Stine, on having twists. There's none of that.
No, it just says exactly what's going to happen, and then it happens.
Right. Even the spell, Dave, I'm sorry to cut you off, but quickly, even the spell is just, she just says, the sorceress, quote unquote, says chicken, chicken. It's the title of the book. Then she turns into a fucking chicken. That's the whole book. Sorry, Dave, what were you going to say?
I was going to say this, but as opposed to the other books, this is where our podcast excels, because we are jumping on this grenade.
Yes.
So that no one else has to read this.
Right.
Nostalgia or not, this is a waste of your time.
Yeah.
R.L. Stine wasted your time. This is a book needed to be out, and he saw the same fucking TNT commercial that Matt did. And just threw this shit together.
Yeah, if you want to be wistful and remember this series like we are, and I would just read a good one, right? Like just avoid this one. There's like a canon of 10 or so books that will do you fine, but not this one.
No. And the intro, I think like this is, you ever write a paper for school and you're like really starting it? You start it and you got like your good intro and you're like, I'll get back to that, and you get back to it like the morning before it's due. Like, that's what this felt like, because you get this kind of interesting setting where it's like a small town of like farmers, and Crystal and Cole's parents are from the Bronx, and their dream the entire time was to quit this big city living and have a farm and live off the land and have their own chickens. And their children do not appreciate this because they're the ones that need to care for the chickens. And boy, do they hate the chickens. You'd expect this to be brought up again in the subsequent 100 pages. Never happens. It's like he set the book up and we have an intro. It's like new to town, very Goosebumps. We get a cool characterization of the parents, which is given up. We get a hatred of chickens. They become chickens and still don't bring it up. It's like he wrote the intro, set it down, and walked away for a couple weeks and came back and then just vomited it on some pages and sent them to us. It fucking sucks.
Well, I mean, would you want to write this book? Like, who would have fun writing this?
Yeah, but the thing is, it was his choice of what to write.
That is the thing.
Yeah. Unless
he
like
should have
Jacobus,
thrown this right in the hamper.
He was like, "Yo, Jacobus, what do we got?" And he's like, "Well, I've been drawing this girl as a chicken." He's like, "Oh, cool.
Perfect.
I'll make something that
112 pages. Here we go."
Yeah.
And he's like rubbing his chin, and he goes, "Chicken, chicken, ah."
Aha! Yes.
Or he was looking in a book, and he's just like sees a picture of a chicken. It's like chicken, and then a second picture of a chicken. He's like, chicken.
What do I call it? 2 chickens? No. Double chicken? No. Sibling chicken? Man, I'm mad at him right now.
Also, I just realized there's no. I've been writing it with a comma between the 2 chickens.
Yeah, it's
no comma.
No, it's just chicken.
Yeah. Yeah, real embarrassment of a spell. Even later in the book, and we're jumping around, but even later in the book when they try to turn themselves back to humans, they do like a cheat code in a controller and then say chicken again, and that's the spell. It's worse than the Night of the Living Dummy spell, which at least has like some, obscure sounding, like, I don't know, some chant, some words that you don't know.
This would be like if I wanted more money and I just said like money. And it's like, well, if you really wanted it and you were dressed as a goth, then you just get more money.
Yeah.
It's like Rosebud in The Sims. It's just, I don't left,
That's
right,
another
left,
thing.
right, up, down, maybe start.
That one I know. I don't know The Sims. I know Contra.
Yeah. The Konami code. Basically, all we really need to do to set the tone is that, there's a lot of kids in a small town, and they all pick on this lady because she wears all black and has black lipstick and black fingernails.
She's a goth.
Vanessa.
Brian, do you know her?
Yeah, it's Vanessa. She lives down the street.
Oh, okay.
She's, I needed money once, and she was like, money. So then I got money.
Wow, that's so cool. It's like The Secret.
Yeah, well, you just have to be nice to her. Like, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And these kids, spoiler alert, they're not nice.
Yeah.
They're all jerks.
Right.
They don't want to feed chickens. They want to fill a mailbox with water, which you can't do.
They want her mail to be wet? Excuse me?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They bother her cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, ugh. No surprise, I'm on the side of the goth on, the day of the big game.
Sure.
That's my whole thing.
Right. Of
Goth,
course.
Jock, Brian.
But I think I'm right on this one.
Yeah. I think history will prove you are on the right and the alt-right. And
I don't know if history is going to prove that one.
We'll see. So, yeah.
Well, history is written by the winners.
Oh, shit.
It's like talking to a Jim Carrey painting. So they do. There are Crystal and Cole are our protagonists, and they have buddies, right? Or Cole has buddies. Anthony and
Cole, yeah,
Squiggly Wiggly.
The two worst names in the history of Goosebumps. I wrote it down, page 5. Franny Jowett and Jeremy Garth. I said, no, there's never been worse names than that.
They sound bad. That is
Franny Jowett.
Ooh, yuck.
Yeah, horrible.
And they are all out to fucking play a prank on this woman who, like, her people are like scared of her, but for some reason they still want to like vandalize her property. It's very confusing.
Yeah, I get that. Being a kid, you run up and you get scared and you have a thrill.
Yeah. And
you scare the sorceress.
But their way of doing it, as Brian said, is to fill a mailbox with water, which again, not a sealed container.
No.
So that's going to be problematic for them. I don't know. Did they say, is the mailbox like on her house or is it like down at the end of the drive?
I think it's near the door. because when
they said it's near the door.
Well, so what I thought they meant was it may be like a mail slot in the door, and they're like pouring water into her house. Like, that's the only way I can make this have any sort of semblance of like sense that it's a prank.
Yeah, and there's a total quick fix for that. You take out the word mailbox and you put in the word mail slot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then people understand what you're saying. But if you write mailbox, then it looks like you're pouring a pitcher of water into a
mailbox with like
RL.
The door on the front, and it's like it's hard to even do that. You have to like hurl the water into it.
Yeah. And you're basically just kind of cleaning it. As long as there's no mail in it.
Yeah, really.
As long as you're not moistening her letters, you're fine.
Yeah.
I do genuinely think he meant mail slot.
I think he meant mail slot too. He just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He was like, did I write mailbox? That was a sentence ago. I'm not going back.
There's no way of going back.
Yeah. I wrote chicken twice already. I'm not fucking going back and editing stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't even copy and paste the second chicken. I wrote it out. But
he puts the work in.
He does. But so then she like appears and all the friends like dive into bushes, but like these two kids who aren't even doing the prank just stand there like fucking rubes.
And they're back by her fence. They're not even there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they leave. And that's just a thing that happens. And so Vanessa knows that they fucking suck. Like, she sees them and she's like, oh, those are some shitty kids, and that's fine. And they just leave. But there's a birthday party coming.
Mm-hmm. Who's Lucianne or something?
Doesn't matter. Really bad name. Another bad name. Lucianne.
And Lucianne's parents love to fuck because doesn't she have like 7 brothers and 7 sisters or something?
Yeah.
Well, there's not much to do out there.
Horny.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah. There's a lot of jizz going into that, Mom.
Oh my God, I forgot it's 2021.
Yup.
Yeah, we could be real liberal with the nut talk.
So she's going to go and buy a CD because that's all Arlstein knows, and it was in the previous book. And of course, Anthony and Cole are playing their famous egg game.
Oh my God, this is fucking infuriating.
This part blew my mind because there's a lot of weird shit in this, and it just gets weirder. So their fun game is to play something that you would do on like field day, where they you stand far apart and throw an egg back and forth, and then get farther apart and farther apart. But these kids just carry eggs on them at all times and do this as they're walking somewhere.
Right. Which is almost...
And it always goes bad.
It's almost unintentionally smart in a way, because it's like... I mean, it plays into the theme. It's like preemptive, like, this boy's going to turn into a chicken. But I don't even think that was happening here. That wasn't the goal. It was just like, Cole's a freak,
I think
and he carries a fucking raw egg in his pocket, and just... now it's like it's halfway through the day and it's like warm, and they're like tossing it. It's just absolutely insane.
And of course he throws it really high up, and the sun gets into Anthony's eyes, and it hits him on the head, and he gets egg on him.
Yeah.
Oh man, the jokes never stop.
Yeah.
I know, I was laughing.
Yeah, this is a comedy.
I had to put the book down to scream for a while. It fucking sucks. And this is crazy. Like, he does a bad job describing this, because all of a sudden they're fighting, and at no point did I think that like he was mad at him and it would cause a fight. But I'm like, oh, I guess they're fighting now. Yeah. And like Anthony like tackles Cole, or Cole tackles Anthony into the window of a grocery store.
Right.
And they tussle so much and end up bumping into Vanessa, who's getting her goth groceries.
Goth-ceries.
Yeah. I don't know actually, this is a good learning experience. So, Brian, what's a goth grocery?
Oh my Lord, you're really springing it on me. Well, black licorice.
Very good.
Food coloring.
Nice.
Food coloring.
Meat. Raw meat. I was in a goth band in high school, and we had one practice. We were called C-section.
Sick.
and the only thing we did was hang out in this goth kid's kitchen, and he lived in this giant house, this rich goth kid, and he just sat in his kitchen and ate raw meat.
What the fuck?
What?
To like show how goth he was.
Holy fuck!
That's fucking gross.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna hang out with these guys anymore.
Oh, you cooking your steak, you yuppie?
Yeah, it was a bit much.
You hate parasites, you fucking fucking hippie.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we'll meet you in next band practice. I gotta go throw up blood for a while.
Yeah, honestly, it's
What
it's not
about
good.
the only thing I thought of for goth groceries is wild berry Pop Tarts. Because it's got
Wow,
that purple.
See, I don't know the world of Pop-Tarts at all.
I don't know if they
I
still
never
make
delved.
those. Those were very...
Yeah, I remember those. Those were like a late 90s thing, right?
Thornberry Pop-Tarts?
Thornberry. Yes. Eliza Thornberry Pop-Tarts.
But yeah, they knock her groceries to the ground, and Anthony sees the witch and just dips, and he's just like, sorry, and runs away.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you guys. Devil's food cake.
Oh,
Oh, perfect.
I'm gonna have to just be a jock now. Because I forgot about Devil's food cake.
no, but you didn't. We did, those words did not leave our lips, so...
Correct.
I'm just looking out the window at the lovely snowfall, and it just hit me.
I know. It's slowing me down. I'm like looking out the window. It's just so nice.
I know, I want to just take a nap.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm thinking so much about chicken.
What about
Exerting too much force.
like a tea with some like valerian root in it? That's like a goth thing.
Sure.
All right.
Like black,
No, I mean, hey,
black tea.
tea, Pop-Tarts, these are things I do not know anything about. I have to agree.
Raw
All right.
meat, though.
Well, raw meat. Yeah.
Raw meat, I know.
Yeah.
That's one thing I know.
All right. If you're maintaining the Calling All Creeps wiki, please make 2 columns. One, things Brian knows about.
I would love to see those columns.
The other, he does not.
Oh, wait. Count Chocula.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's a good
la.
one.
That is
See,
vampire.
now that is something I would buy.
For the people at home, something, if you like Count Chocula cereal, there is a Dunkin' Donuts cereal that is,
Oh,
it's
I've
like,
seen this.
yeah, and it's basically like mocha latte, and literally all it is like Count Chocula with the little marshmallows and
Wow.
with like a coffee tinge to it. Very good.
I like that. I don't fuck
good.
with cereal these days, but it's so fun. I'd like to have a nice cereal bowl.
Yeah, it's good.
Dave, do you remember the Super Mario cereal with Link?
Yes.
That was the best.
There was a lot of weird cereals that just had those like checks basically,
Yeah,
and then they would just have shaped marshmallows. But
it was it was box split in half. One half was Super Mario, one half was
Yep.
Legend of Zelda.
Wow.
insane stuff.
Good
Someone
times.
definitely has that in a collection somewhere, and I'm definitely jealous.
I want
I just
it.
want the box.
You could buy like an unopened box on eBay for $400. It'll kill you
huge-
if you eat it.
They would make cereal for anything back when. Like I remember having the Batman cereal for Batman Returns, the Ninja Turtle cereal, and the thing that's crazy about it is they would try and make the shapes of generic cereal because they would just get bulk cereal and put it all together.
Right.
I remember this vividly. That was so weird. The Ninja Turtle cereal, the checks were supposed to be nets. Like nets. And they would be
Sure.
like Ninja Turtle nets.
Not hammocks.
No.
Wait,
I would think they'd want hammocks to be sleeping in the sewer.
why nets? They get caught in nets?
I don't fucking know. It
Yeah.
just
I
doesn't
feel like
make
they
any
did
sense.
get caught in nets a lot.
No, okay, so here's the box. I'm reading it right now. Crunchy sweetened ninja nets with Ninja Turtle marshmallows.
That is so insane. Clearly that's what happened, right? Like they got this cereal and they're like, we have to reverse engineer this to be relevant somehow.
All the cereal was the same shit. They just put different marshmallows in it. But anyway,
Which is funny because all their weapons are just sticks.
Right.
Sword, sai. It's like it's just like
the marshmallows were their weapons.
oh, not their faces.
But you could have just been like Ninja Turtle like shapes, and you don't have to like. People get that the cereal is cereal. Right. You don't have to be like, it's those nets that they use when
famously
they're capturing
or are used on them by the
wild
Foot Clan.
pizzas.
There was who was it Donatello in the first live action Ninja Turtles movie? Somebody did get caught in a net and stolen, right?
I think it was Raphael.
Yeah.
Okay. The best.
Man, that first
turtle.
movie is good.
I love
it's
that
depressing.
movie. It is.
That first movie is really good.
I have a theory that it occupies the same reality as Taxi Driver.
Sure.
I just think it's the same. It's like the same exact like gritty New York setting.
It really is, especially when he goes to see critters.
Yeah. Yep.
I love the first one, and it because that's based more on like they wanted to get some of the comic in there, based like less from the TV show, and it has the goofiness, but like the fighting and like the villains and stuff are fucking raw.
Yeah,
like
it's
yeah,
great. I think
really good.
Casey Jones is like casually misogynistic, but outside of that, it holds up pretty well.
And April O'Neil is hideously miscast.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Then I still love the second one a lot. Secret of the Ooze is very good. It's goofy as fuck, but I mean, you got big sexy Kevin Nash Diesel as Shredder at the end, and
Super Shredder. Yep.
Gotta love a nice mall fight, right? In the beginning. That's fun.
Oh, mall fight. You can't do better than a mall fight.
Yeah.
And is that the first one? Does Michelangelo use those sausages as nunchucks in the second one? Or is that the first one?
I don't remember it from the first.
That feels like second, because I watched the first one recently. I haven't seen the second one in a long time.
I think like they're in April O'Neil's like apartment, and for some reason she has like hanging meats in her kitchen with like the hanging, and he like fights off some foot soldiers with just some salamis.
Okay, yeah, that might be the first one.
Yeah, I remember them being in the apartment and how good they are at hiding, even though they're giant and like clumsy.
Also, like, this is the days before Seamless and DoorDash and everything like that. How the fuck did a pizza man find a manhole in the middle of a street in New York City? Come on, guys.
Because they were under there and they're saying, "Hey, down here."
Yeah, but
Skinny, or whatever they say.
If you're looking for an address, you don't like if I'm holding a pizza and someone's like, "Hey, pizza man, it's me in the sewer," I'd be like, "Okay, I'm leaving."
Yeah, I'd probably just throw the pizza down there.
Yeah,
run away.
So they basically just stare at her groceries on the ground, but they run away without saying anything.
Right.
Which is ridiculous.
Before they leave, she points at them with a scraggly old finger and she says, "Chicken, chicken."
Yeah.
So that haunts them for a while, and they're like, "What does she mean?" Like that was weird. And and also I just want to say we know Goths buy ketchup because she did buy ketchup.
Sure.
Because they talk about the glass shattering and whatnot, and
it looks like blood came out.
Yeah. And basically the rest is like they slowly turn into chickens. Like Crystal is at a birthday party for Lucienne, and her lips harden, and she is mortified and embarrassed by this, and ends up having to leave the party.
They get like bloody and crackly and like puffy, and she just like runs away mid-party. There's a weird sentence I want to bring up. She's like, "I ran downstairs to their downstairs bathroom. They have a big farmhouse because that's where the chapstick was. I know this because I've spent many hours in the house hanging out with her." And I was like, why are you like trying to like fucking show off to me? You're an imaginary character.
Right. Why can't you just say went into the bathroom to get chapstick?
And then she runs away, and I like this part because like Cole's got like fucking pubes coming out of his neck, and they're feathery pubes, and they pluck them and shit.
Yeah.
And they decide to go see Anthony because they're like, Anthony's probably also a chicken. And they go there, and Anthony like has his dad's putter, and he's just like practicing golf. And they're like, "Has anything weird happened to you?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I've gotten real good at putting."
Yeah.
So weird.
But also nobody fucking notices like her lips. Her mom maybe says something about her lips once.
And she just says they're really chapped.
Yeah, like go get some chapstick. And apparently like she like looks down her shirt and like there's feathers like blossoming out of the collar and they're covering their neck and arms, and the mom is just like, quit dawdling, we have a barbecue. Like no one gives a shit.
No. Yeah,
but like that's the whole plot really. And then like Cole is eating seeds out of the chicken coop and it embarrasses mom, and
that's right.
And then Crystal also does it.
But it's a huge hit at the barbecue. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, everybody's laughing.
Everyone thinks it's hilarious.
I have to say it is very funny.
It's very funny.
It's hilarious. It's a good joke.
It's a good joke. But yeah,
it's the best joke.
There's a level of insanity because the description, the people's reactions.
Oh, there's a level of insanity, Matt.
Well, the people's reactions around them are not proportionate to the description, which is like, my lips were hard as fingernails, which is disgusting. And then somebody's like, oh, your lips are chapped. It's like, well, that doesn't add up. But yeah, so they continually turn into chickens and they're like, hey, we should track down Vanessa and try to reverse this, which they do at one point. They run into her. And she's like, hey, you fucking idiots, looking good, right? You fucking chickens.
Yeah, I like that part.
And then she leaves. But they circle back eventually to her house, and she's not there. So they go in and try to like find a spell book on their own so they can take care of this. But
also missed the big game. She finally gets chosen to be a starter in basketball, but she can only run like a chicken.
Oh, yeah. And also, if she's tall, she's like supposed to be super tall. She would not be the sixth man in this little stupid town that has 5 children in it. Yeah. She would be on the team.
Yeah.
She would, because she's tall. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
She's bad at shooting, but she can, she can rebound. She can.
Yeah, she's a long stride.
She could block.
Yeah.
Just keep your arms up in the air, stupid.
Yeah. So she embarrasses herself on the court, and this happens after her lips harden and she's like growing feathers. I don't understand why she's attending school. But
also nobody fucking notices.
I know.
Nobody cares.
I know. So they do end up at Vanessa's house and they try to get a book to help themselves, but it ends up being a recipe book. I think we can all relate to that. And they end up going back and finding a real book. Vanessa's not home. They find a real magic book.
Such a waste of our fucking time, too.
It's a waste of everyone's time for us to rehash this, for you, the listener, for Brian, who's joining us on a Sunday to fucking talk about this. It's all bad.
The Sunday of the big game.
The big game. The super game. And 64. And they try to reverse the spell, but they end up turning themselves into giant chickens instead. And then they try to reverse that, but they end up turning themselves into little chickadees. And then Vanessa comes home and she says, well, look who it is, my chicken friends. You guys are so stupid. And they're like, oh, we're so sorry, but they can't talk because they're little chickadees. So they jump on a typewriter a lot. To write a note that says we're sorry. And
I forgot about this until just now.
She says, well, it's too late for that. I'm having a good time. Well, she's like,
manners, the reason manners are so important to me.
Yeah. She likes a polite teen. And
Crystal types out the longest note.
Yeah.
She's a tiny chicken, and she goes on a typewriter and types out this like half-page note. Mm-hmm. It's like, we are so sorry. Me and my brother, we are both sorry to you, Vanessa.
I would love like the episode. Most of it, it's just like her looking as she's jumping on it, and it's like T-H-E,
and then she just dies of exhaustion because
her heart stops.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. If I had my book here, I would see how long it was, because I remember it being incredibly long.
It's long. It's about 3 or 4 lines.
Well, then they write a thank you note.
Then they write a thank you note. And
Vanessa, we're really sorry. We didn't mean to spill your groceries. We came to apologize.
Yeah. And then
imagine having to jump from letter to letter to type all that out.
And then to follow it up with an even longer thank you note.
Yeah, the thank you note is, thank you for explaining to us And I love this too because they write as R.L. Stine. Even though it takes forever, they also punctuate wrong. So it's thank you for explaining to us, period. And thank you for trying to teach us to be polite. Yours truly, Crystal.
Yours truly, yeah.
But like they put a period in the middle of a sentence and then started with and. Come on, guys.
You start with and, which is not even necessary. It's extra work. And you're a little chicken.
Extra work.
Just skip the and.
Yes.
But this goes a long way because Vanessa loves manners. And she's like, well,
yeah, Vanessa's stoked. She's very happy.
You guys have learned something clearly. So I will oblige and I will change you back into little kids. And she does. And she says, you must be thirsty from me trying to kill you. And they're like, yeah, we sure are. And they enjoy a soda pop together. And unfortunately, Cole does a burp. After all of this, he's learned nothing. And
he's the dumbest person in the world.
Yeah. And then Vanessa says, what does she say?
Pig.
Pig. Uh-oh. Now, I have to say, if it's between chicken or pig, I'd rather be a pig, right? Because you're smarter.
100%.
You can shit on your own balls and stuff.
You don't have fingernail mouth.
You don't have fingernail mouth.
But in a small farming community, chickens you want to keep alive
for their eggs,
so that you can have eggs and stuff. Pig, you're gonna go through a season and you're gonna fucking murder it.
That's true.
Did you just say you can shit on your own balls? Did I make that up? I was looking at my notes.
Here's the thing, Matt.
Uh-huh.
You can do that now.
Well, look, it's not.
I
as
assume
reliable.
you do.
I don't know.
I imagine if you lay prone and just shit. Maybe do it in like the bathtub so you don't like. But you could do that.
And maybe like swing your hips.
Well, yeah, I guess I could do.
And also film it so we could watch.
A PEI, poop eating instructions.
Oh no, that's PEI.
That's what I said.
No, I think it's more like a pobber, like a pob.
A
Give me
pob?
a pobber. Yeah, poop on balls.
POBI.
We are.
I don't like that song, but I like that other song.
Boom! Here comes the boom. Shit on your balls.
No, the other one.
Ha-ha.
I think
yet another one.
I think that boom song isn't that saliva?
No, I think that's
Is that POD? Oh, okay.
POB. All right. So what was good?
Oh boy,
Guest.
Brian, you're our guest.
What'd
You
you
go
like?
first.
Well, since I don't have my book, you might have to find these for me.
Uh-huh.
I have it. What do I have here? I have the page 11, the second paragraph.
Uh-huh. What'd you like about that?
Was good. I don't know because I don't have my book.
Cole and
Cole and
Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah. Go on,
After
Dave.
you. No, you. I want to hear that.
Well,
gorgeous voice.
here it is. Cole and Anthony were at my sides. Our sneakers thudded heavily over the dirt path. We kicked up clouds of dirt as we ran, a blur of green and brown. The fields appeared to tilt and sway around me.
I liked that because that feels like running as a kid. When you're like running so fast, you like can't control yourself.
I would say that description, it's good that you called that out because that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
And then I have on page 46, they talk about all the kids from other towns coming to the birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was interesting because it's like you forget that when you're a kid, your friends are so close, and then you have friends that like live outside of your town. Like I had a friend when I was a kid who moved to Warren, which was like, I'll never see him again.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay.
Yeah.
I know that's, very specific. Sorry to the Australian listeners. You don't know where Warren, New Jersey is. But
shout out to our Australian listeners. There's a few.
Yeah.
Hello, Down Under. Well, they know where Melbourne is, right?
Yeah, they know where Sydney is and the Opera House.
That's
and,
right.
Tame Impala. And,
sure. Yeah.
That secret surf spot.
Yep.
Yeah, the big kahuna.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
New Zealand.
And that's all I had. I had page 79, the fourth paragraph, but I doubt it's going to be worth checking out.
Yeah, and we won't. Dave.
Yeah. Good idea.
What's in your good?
I like on page 3 how a lady said that Crystal's hair is so red that she should be a model. because that gives me hope as a red hair individual. On page 25, I like that R.L. Stine really stuck to the first person narrative, because like Cole was talking to Mom as Crystal left the room, and she even said that like I could hear Mom saying to Cole as I left the room, storming out. So it's like really, trying to make sure, like, giving explanations of why you get plot from a room the character's not in.
Right.
Which, from a book that is so clumsy and lazy, that's interesting.
Yeah.
There's something I liked, part of a conversation, who the fuck cares? I thought it was funny that when they were leaving the house to go, like, not be chickens, they ate super quick, and they said that we ate the Pop-Tarts, which... they just grabbed Pop-Tarts, which they ate raw.
Yeah.
Raw. I have that written.
I love that. That is just like, oh, we ate them raw. Like,
yeah,
get over yourself. I liked when Vanessa, they went up to Vanessa to like try and stop her, and she bumped into them, and they were like, cluck, cluck. And she was like, oh, cluck, cluck to you too. And then she just walked away. It was such a good, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And that's the only good.
Yeah. Yeah, I have very brief things. One, same thing as you, Dave, the raw Pop-Tart. I thought that was a delight because, that's a big food staple when you're a teen.
Check the wiki. I do not know what Pop-Tarts are.
That's right. That's in the do not know column. And then I just had at the barbecue when they eat seeds off the ground. That's funny. And that's it. Hey, I have a question for you guys. On page 1.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not 1.
I carry the seed bucket out to the backyard.
I knew it.
And they come scurrying over. What are your thoughts on that?
I was waiting for you to talk about eating seed off the ground.
Mm-hmm. I mean, definitely. But what's in that seed bucket?
Well, what's in your seed bucket? You don't have one at home?
Well, look, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. I'm curious about what is going on there in this book. What's in the seed bucket?
Look, I've been not working for about 2 weeks now, and my seed bucket
brimming
is just. I'm going to need someone to come over here and bring some chickens. You know what I mean?
You're going to need a seed wheelbarrow.
Yeah,
that's next.
Maybe a silo.
Yeah, silo.
Yeah.
One of those.
Well, I'm the silo, Dave.
One of those Home Depot Homer buckets, right?
I'm more of a Lowe's guy, but yeah.
Same. Politics being what they
are.
That's I agree.
Right.
Brian, what did you fucking hate?
Yeah, what did you hate?
Oh, what did I hate? Okay, this will be easier because I actually wrote the things down. Okay, bad writing. Page 30. No one on Earth says red marker pen.
I wrote that too.
That's
fucking
fair.
Stupid.
Also, no one on Earth says, can we change the topic?
Okay.
She's like, can we just change the topic? Like, all right.
You're more
subject. People say change the subject.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, page 98. We weren't chickens, ... We were big chickens.
Yeah.
Like, mm-hmm. All right. And page 110, he uses the word politest, which I didn't like. I didn't like the sound. That didn't hit me right. Politest.
Sure. Sounds like a disease.
Politest cope.
I was struck down by politis.
Yeah. Oh, and also the incessant use of, where is it? Black lipsticked lips.
Mm.
They talk about Vanessa's black lipsticked lips over and over.
Yeah.
It's like, just black lipstick. It's fine.
Right. You don't need to add the past.
We know she's goth. We know what she looks like.
Yeah,
she's the only person you've described, actually.
Yeah. That's fair. That's it for your bad?
Yeah. Dave, what didn't you like?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
I try.
So, like I said, I had no idea Anthony and Cole were even fighting, and until Crystal had to intervene with them. It was just written very bad. It was very confusing. A lot of things are confusing, like the descriptions don't match what's actually happening, like with how nobody understands that they're chickens at all. There on page 36, it says that she makes a joke. I get to sing 2 solos, Cole brags. I'm the only 5th grader in the chorus, and I'm the only one with perfect pitch. No one's perfect, I reminded him. I know, it was a really lame joke. No one laughed. It's because it's not a fucking joke. Don't even put it in the book.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it in reference to him saying no one's perfect?
Did he even say that?
I feel like there was a part before it where he says no one's perfect and everyone laughs.
Right. Yeah, it's a callback.
Or something like that. Like I believe me, I read this book 2 weeks ago and it was the worst part of my 2 weeks. So
and you had surgery.
I'm trying to remember.
All right,
I had 2 eye surgeries in that time and I was blind for 5 days. But
this
chicken was the worst part.
So that
I do feel like there was that, but you're right. It isn't a joke.
I take that back. So on top of that,
I don't want you to take it back.
I'll take it back for now because there's so much worse. I don't want to hit a man when he's down. Especially on the day of the big game.
Of course.
I imagine like R.L. Stine has one of those little pendants on a stick like Homer always does, and he's just sitting in his recliner, just like.
And it says "State."
Yeah. Sport. I hate that Cole kills a spider and they say that he tromped it instead of stopping it.
Yep.
Tromped? What the I don't get it. On page 48, when they're lighting the candles, it says they got them all lighted.
Mm-hmm. As you do.
Which this next note I just wrote, it just says the plot sucks.
Yeah. Well, there's no
that's
plot.
The truth.
So.
Yeah. I said this is the worst idea, plot, and twists yet throughout all of Goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the worst. So, Matt, what did you fucking hate?
I appreciate you asking. I noted that you can't fill a mailbox with water, of course, as we all know. On page 27, Cole keeps a raw egg in his pocket, which is insane behavior. On page 35, 36, Cole and Crystal are sitting down to dinner with their parents, and Crystal and her mom are going back and forth. And Cole is like, doesn't anyone want to hear about my sprained thumb? And no one acknowledges it. And then on the next page, his mom is finally like, all right, Cole, what about your sprained thumb? And he's like, nothing. I just made that up because I want it to be part of the conversation. And then the chapter ends. It's really baffling.
That's quite a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Really confusing. I don't understand. Just unnecessary.
He's just been jamming it up his ass.
On page 53, Crystal is at the party and she realizes that she's turning into a chicken. Her lips are hardening. She can't eat cake. And she wonders, will I ever eat cake again? And then on page 80 later on, when the chicken metamorphosis is taking place more fully, she's worried about never eating donuts again. So her primary concern in all of this seems to be inability of eating pastries and sweets, which is sure, why not? And I think overarching thing here, before she gets turned into a chicken, when they do the mailbox thing, Vanessa sees them but doesn't do anything to them yet. It's only when they spill her groceries that there's a consequence. But early on, Crystal slams her hand in a car door or in the refrigerator. And she's like, well, what if Vanessa made me slam my hand in the refrigerator? And it's just, it's this weird, like, supernatural thinking that I just didn't like. It reminded me of like some people do think this kind of stuff and they have like intrusive thoughts, like obsessive compulsive disorder, like things that they fear.
Relatable.
This is a real thing. And then the book itself is just like validates that and is, I don't know. I think if you have an anxiety disorder early on and you're like a 9-year-old reading this book, it just like gives credence to like, I don't know, if you do something innocuous, like bump into somebody, you could I don't know, your life could be ruined somehow in a way that you think is real, but is actually not based in rational thought.
We know it's not true, though, because she didn't say refrigerator. Of course.
Right.
The spell that would do that.
That would, yeah. But that's all I have.
All right, so we're at that end. We got our spook and scare, best dressed, alt title, Brian as the guest. What scared you?
Well, before my spook, I just want to say there's a huge issue I have that RL didn't give us a name for the band that the CD she was going to buy. Because I love when that stuff happens. When there's specific examples, they're just like, I'm going to buy a CD.
Yeah.
And then her friend is like, I got a CD player. This is my first CD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like, give me... But yeah,
they say
that's
dance
neither here nor
music.
there. It makes me crazy.
Now that's what I call music volume 2.
Wow.
The perfect gift.
Were we ever so young? But my spook is the lips becoming the beak because it's disgusting. And it's very Cronenberg. It's very things I really think about.
Yeah.
It's very me waking up the last 10 days of my life with making sure my eye still works. Right, I understand,
Mm-hmm. The fear of some
that kind of
terror. Or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And it happening and saying, is it ever going to go back to normal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
fair.
It wasn't done well. It definitely wasn't written well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah.
But the idea is real.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you made mine seem goofy now.
What do you got?
Well,
Dave?
that's what I do. I'm better at things than
most people.
You guys.
Definitely me. But on page 53, you just mentioned this, Matt. It's will I ever enjoy cake again?
Mm-hmm.
And this reminds me of remember that I think I talked about it, how I was going to buy eggs at a small Spanish grocery store, and I had cream cheese that morning, and I almost shit myself.
Yes.
So it's kind of like getting older and just thinking like, will my body ever let me enjoy dairy again?
Right.
And that is
It's a frightening thought.
Yeah. Just because
that's real.
I don't want to give any credence to becoming a chicken in this book because it just was so shitty.
Absolute trash.
So I'm going to pick something that I can relate to and just not being able to enjoy foods that you appreciated.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Man, I love donuts.
I do love donuts too.
Put that on the wiki.
Add it to the list.
There needs to be a full Brian page of the wiki, and it needs to like link over to like a GeoCities like page with like 6 skull gifs and like also like a football being thrown.
I definitely want one of the spider coming out of the web and going back into the web.
And the dancing Ally McBeal baby.
No, Dave. There has to be a line.
Okay, I crossed it.
All right,
the Crypt Keeper, please.
We'll do an Angel Fire then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt?
I don't have one, so we can skip it. What's your best dress, Brian?
The only person they described was Vanessa.
Yep.
So I got to say Vanessa. That's the only one I remember any actual clothing.
It was
for.
like Vanessa.
They said, "What's her name?" has red hair, but
the little blonde friend with a million sisters and brothers,
Lucianne.
Yeah, she had like blonde curled locks, but Vanessa still wins. We haven't had a real goth.
Yeah, it's got to be
on our
Vanessa.
side.
She might be the best dressed in the series.
I do think she kills it, but I will say on page 6 they describe Cole's friend Anthony, who is short and chubby and has a round face and very short black hair. He always wears red framed glasses that are always slipping down his little pug nose, and that's just cute.
Okay, drag me as fuck.
Yeah, what about
that's my life? Okay, I had red glasses when I was a teenager. Okay, like
that must be why I love it so much.
There we go.
What about on page 30 where it said Vanessa was wearing a strange shirt that said something called Bauhaus on it?
Yeah, that's too much. This would be my favorite book if that was actually in it.
Same.
Even though I hate that band, that would be the greatest reference.
She had a TSOL back patch.
Oh my god.
She whispered in my ear, Bela Lugosi's dead. And walked away. She said, love will tear us apart. And then my dad had a heart attack.
She was listening to Christian Death as she walked by.
In her Discman with extra ESP.
And she had a Cocteau Twins beanie on.
She drove away in a hearse with a bumper sticker on the back that said, "I hang with Ian Curtis."
That sounds like a bummer of a day.
Alt title, Brian.
My alt title is Local Witch Gives You Degrading JOI.
Oh my god. That wins forever.
Can't top that.
Thank you.
Dave.
Can't top that. Mine is Sister Sister 2, Chicken Chicken.
There you go.
This seemed like a good idea last night. I wrote, hey, R.L. Stein, maybe per don't. Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Or who gives a cluck, which, you know.
Oh, no.
All right. What do we got? Where's the witch? Which obviously.
Sure.
Where do you think the witch is? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's gotta be Vanessa. And
was that the one that that our buddy
Carl?
made up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was bummed that I didn't get to make up a category, but now I can't think of one, and I'm sad. And you're almost out of books anyway, so
think one up, write it to us, and we'll add it in whenever.
Brian,
you think
we'd be happy to add it to the.
Can you add it to all the previous episodes?
Yeah,
go back in and put in a little. Okay,
we'll definitely do that. Don't listen to them to find out, but we'll definitely do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
We'll try our hardest. How about that?
I thank you.
We'll do what we can.
Oh, I think maybe I'll make it biggest seed silo.
Oh. So it's definitely Brian's hog every episode.
It's just
so
you.
Oh, wow. Whoops, 2021.
And then the last one we do is most luscious liquor.
Most luscious liquor. Of course, who could it be but Vanessa's cat?
Yes. I would agree. Dave, what about you?
I would say, the cat kind of gobs down Crystal, but also Crystal with her lips, I imagine, is just gross.
That's true.
Crystal's gross, dry lips.
Yeah.
And she was like, my tongue is so dry. And I just imagine clacking. Like a chicken's tongue in its... Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Chickens are gross.
They are
Chickens are gross.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
They shit breakfast. And that weirds me.
I like that sentence.
They shit breakfast?
Yeah. I like it out of context.
Yeah, I was going to read this part where the cat eats Crystal, but it doesn't fucking matter.
None of this matters.
Cool. Well, that's it. Another great episode.
I think our friendship matters.
Oh, me too.
I think so too. You guys.
I see. Last time I was on, I was very acerbic.
Sure, that's a good one.
And I was very angry, and I've had a lot of changes in my life since then. I'm a much happier person now. So,
Brian, you're a delight. It's good to have you.
You really. Well, I was going to say you really ended that by making me read R.L. Stein's Chicken Chicken.
Oh. So now we're antagonistic again.
So now I'm sad again.
Okay.
No.
Well, in
now I'm happy
any
again.
form that you're on, whether you're acerbic or you're cherubic,
sure.
we're glad to have
you.
You
texted that to me last night, didn't you?
No, actually,
2 nights ago.
Your lovely girlfriend.
She said
she mentioned
cherubic.
cherubic. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
That seems like I heard a word.
And she was correct. It was a great description. Well, that's it, Brian. It's a treat, of course, to have you on the pod.
It's lovely to be here.
Thank you for listening and for your lovely message to our anniversary episode. That was very nice.
I did do that.
Is there anything that you'd like to plug or promote at this time?
Not really. I just, I'm on Instagram, Totally Brian. I post once every 60 days or so, maybe something like that.
Worth
I'm usually
follow.
very busy.
Yes, you're a busy man. Dave, do we have anything else? That's it, right?
I think that's it.
All right.
Other than the big game.
The big game. Don't forget to watch the 69ers take on the Ass Blasters in the final rodeo. Huh?
We were watching It Could Happen to You the other night, and a guy kept coming on and doing a commercial for betting on the big game, but he kept saying and they'd put the black bar over his mouth like it was funny.
Okay.
It wasn't funny. And that movie sucks as well.
I don't know what that is. It could happen to you.
It's Nicolas Cage wins the lottery and has to give half of it to a waitress that he promised it to, and he falls in love with the waitress.
Okay.
And his wife, Rosie Perez, is not happy about it.
Oh, Rosie Perez is fun.
It's bad. Okay, bye.
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 Click.